Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's webinar. Tonight, the focus is on integrating communicative practice. My name is Mr. Juan Valenzuela, and I want to welcome you all on behalf of Abilities and Education. We are here to share pedagogical experiences, teaching experiences together. I am sure this will be a great contribution for the job we do every day as teachers. We here are teachers of primary, teachers of children, teachers of young learners. And first of all, I want to share with you what the focus of the webinar will be on. What will we talk about tonight? There are three aspects, 3 points, 3 things we will cover tonight. First, we are going to talk of children as language learners. Right? Then we are going to talk about the importance of contextualizing language when teaching young learners. And finally, we will see everything that has to do to make, to build, to have a communicative classroom. Are you ready to start? I want you to tell me in the chat box where you are connecting from. There are people from many different places tonight. We have Juan Carlos from Santiago de Cali, right? Welcome, Juan Carlos. So I want you to tell me where you are connecting from tonight. Ferñafe present, good. All right. Chiclayo, good. All right, Chiclayo, yes. The teachers from Chiclayo, good, yes, Chiclayo present. All right. Jaén, good, welcome. Jaén present. La Victoria, Chiclayo, good. All right, good. Welcome, welcome again. Let's start then. Look at this song. Okay, good evening, Cerro de Pasco. Good evening, Lima. All right. Look at this. We are going to sing together, all right? You can open your microphones now and sing with me. When I say, what is it, I want you to tell me, I don't know, all right? What is it, I don't know. What is it,
I don't know.
What is it, please show me.
Please show me.
Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Very good. Okay, let's do it again. What is it, I don't know. What is it, hey, let's go. What is it,
Please
Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, good. Now look at this. All right, we are singing together. All right, we are singing together again. Okay. Everybody, what is it, I don't know. What is it, oh, what is
Hey,
it,
let's go.
show me. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
All right, look at this, look at the camera. What is it?
It's a cow.
No, it's working. What is it?
It's a cow.
It's a cow, yes, look.
It's a cow.
It's a cow, yes, great. It is a cow. Great. All right, let's continue. What is it?
What is it?
I don't know.
What is it? I don't know.
What is it? Please show me.
What is it?
1, 2, 3.
Oh my God, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. It's right there, it's right there, it's coming. Look, 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 look. What is it?
A dog.
It's a dog.
A dog, a
It's a
dog.
dog.
It's a dog.
dog.
Yes, yes. Good, 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 good. Great, you're doing a great job. Yes, it's a dog. Look, it's here. It is a dog. Yes, good. All right, let's continue. What is it? What is it? I don't know. What is it?
What is it? What is it?
What is it? What is it?
What is it?
I don't know.
Are you ready? 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
It's coming, it's coming, it's coming.
It's a donkey.
It's a horse.
Horse or donkey?
A horse.
It's a horse.
Horse. Yes. It's a horse. Yes.
Horse.
It's a horse. Yes, good. Great. You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. All right, good. Let's continue. Now we are singing faster, right? Faster, faster, faster. What is it? What is it?
What is it? I don't know. What is it? What is it? Hey, let's go. What is it? Show me.
Are you ready?
1, 2, 3. It's a hen.
It's a hen.
It's a hen.
It's a hen.
It's a hen. It's here. Yes, it's a hen. Good. All right. Let's sing again. Now faster. All right. What is it? What is it? I don't know. What is it?
What is it? What is it? Hey, let's go. What is it? What is it?
Are you ready?
1, 2, 3.
I like this animal. I like this animal very much. Look.
It's a sheep. It's a sheep.
It's a sheep. Yes.
Oveja.
Yes. A sheep. Look. It's only the sheep. Right. Good. All right.
Sheep.
Good. All right. Good.
No.
What is it? I don't know. What is it? What
What is it? What is it?
What is it? What is it?
What is
Please. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3.
it?
Good. Look at this. It has 2 legs. It's a kind of bird, but it can't fly.
It's a duck.
It's a duck.
Duck, yes. It's a duck. Great. It's a duck. Very good. Claps for you. You're doing a great job. All right, good. Let's sing again faster. What is it? What is it?
What is it?
What is it?
What is it? What is it? Hey, let's go. What is it? What is it? Please show me. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at its tail. Here is
It's a
dog. Or it's a rabbit.
Oh, no, it isn't. Look, look, look.
It's a
cat.
Cat. It's a cat.
It's a cat. Yes, it is a
It's a
cat.
cat. It's a cat.
Yes, good, good, good. Okay, let's sing faster. What is it? What is it? I don't know. What is it? What is it?
I don't know. What is it? What is it?
Are you ready?
1, 2, 3.
It's a pig.
pig. Pig. It's a pig.
It's a pig.
Yes, it's a pig. Great, great. Look, it is a pig. Great. All right. Good, good, good. Claps for everyone. All right. So good, so good. All right. Now look at these animals again. Here are my friends. Today we are talking about animals. We're learning names of animals. This animal makes meow, meow, meow. What do you call this animal? What do you call it? What's this animal called? What is it? Yes. And how many legs does a cat have?
It has 4 legs.
Four legs.
Four legs.
Four legs.
Can cats jump?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Jump very high, right? Right?
Yes.
They can.
How many lives do people say they have? How many lives do they have?
7 lives.
7 lives. A
7
cat
lives.
has 7 lives. All right.
Yes.
Okay, do you have a cat?
No.
No,
No. Do you like cats?
I don't like
I don't like
cats.
it.
I prefer
You like
dogs.
them. All
And,
right.
and I prefer puppies or dogs.
Which are more beautiful, black or white cats? For you, which are more beautiful?
White.
White.
White
No
cat?
one.
White cat. Why?
All right.
Golden cats.
Okay.
That is unlucky.
Now look at this. It's a signal of bad luck. That's what some people say, right?
Yes.
What animal is this? This is another.
It's a duck.
It's a duck.
It's a duck.
How many legs does a duck have? How many legs?
2 legs.
2 legs.
2 legs.
Can a duck fly?
Ay, quedó que hoy día
No.
la última.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Yes, there are some ducks that can fly because they migrate from one country to another. So,
Oh,
yeah.
yes. Some ducks go from one place to another, right? So,
Yeah.
all right, good. Okay, good. Here is another animal. Here's another animal. What animal is it? The first one, the first we have.
Cow.
Cow.
It's a cow.
Cow.
Cow, right. Yes, and how many legs has a cow got?
4.
4 legs.
What color is a cow? What color is a cow?
Well, here in Peru, they are white and black, but in highlands, they are kind of brown.
Yes. Some cows can be black and white, and some other cows can be brown and like yellow, right? Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
In
Holstein cows are usually
Yeah.
white and black, right?
brown sweet.
And what food do they produce? What food do cows produce?
They produce milk.
Cheese,
Right?
butter,
Milk.
milk.
Do you
But
like milk? Do you like
they
milk?
produce milk.
And butter.
And butter. We can make butter, right? With a cow's milk. All right, good. That's so good. That's so good. That's a fantastic beginning. Now look at my board. Look at my board. Can you see my board here? I have some phrases here, right? I'm going to find some information on my board, and you are going to guess the animal I'm writing about. Okay, look at this. Look, this animal has 2 legs. Is black or white. And it can walk and fly. What animal is it?
Duck.
It has 2 legs.
It's a duck.
It's black or sometimes white or sometimes like yellow, and it can walk.
It's
It's
a duck.
Duck.
Great. Let's continue. One more. Okay, one more. This This animal has 4 legs. It's easy. This one is very easy. This one is very easy. This animal has 4 legs. It's black and white. And it can
It's a cow. It's a cow.
Cow.
A cow. All right.
Cow.
This animal has a long mouth. It's green. And it can eat people. It can eat people. This animal has a long mouth.
A crocodile. A crocodile.
And it can eat people.
A crocodile.
Right, yeah. Good. Okay, good. One more. This animal has no legs. It's intelligent and friendly.
It's a dolphin. A dolphin.
It's a dolphin.
It's a dolphin.
Dolphin.
A dolphin.
Wow. So smart. So smart. You are fantastic, girl. You are fantastic class. All right. Okay, good. So good. All right. Let's continue with tonight's presentation. Then I want you to confirm that you can see the screen. All right. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. That's fantastic. Okay, let's start then. I told you that today we were going to cover 3 points, 3 aspects. Number 1, we are going to talk about children as language learners. That's the first thing we will do tonight, all right? The second thing we will talk about is about the importance of contextualizing language when teaching young learners. And finally, we will talk about how to make a communicative classroom. All right? Are you ready to start? Should I continue? Can I continue with the presentation?
Yes.
Okay, sure.
Excellent. All right. Hello, Ecuador. Miss Gladys from Ecuador. Good evening and welcome to tonight's session. All right. We are going to talk of English structure right now. Okay, at primary level, when we teach children between the ages of 3 and 11 years old, we are usually concerned with simple structures such as basic verb tenses, adjectives, noun combinations, prepositions, etc., etc., etc. The structural objectives for the whole first year of English teachers, dear colleagues, should be very limited and should be practiced and recycled continually. All right? So there's no necessity to include a lot of tenses, a lot of topics the very first years. But it would be better if we just consider a limited number of structures that children can use every day, can practice every day. These structures have to be presented by us, the teachers. Every day in class, they have to be practiced and recycled continually. For example, with the board I had today, we learned structures. What were the three things I included on my board today? What was the first sentence? Do you remember the way my first sentence started?
This animal.
Excellent. This animal has, right? The second one was?
It has two legs, for example.
Yeah, that was the first one, right? The animal has, this animal has. The second was it's green, it's black and white, etc. And the last one was?
It can fly or it can walk.
So there is no necessity to teach in a class to young learners the form of can, that you make positive with can, the negative is cannot, the contraction is can. No, there's no necessity to do that. But if you use the structure continually, you use it all the time, the children will learn it effectively. In previous webinars, I have said that we cannot focus on grammar when teaching young learners because grammar is too abstract, too complex, too complicated to understand for children. Grammar is not understood by young learners. So teaching grammar in our classes is a waste of time. We have presented a lot of grammar today since I started with the song, with the pictures, with the board, and I was making you speak. I was trying to get you involved with the lesson since the very beginning. So this is basically our job. So structures shouldn't be taught independently from the whole language context. As I said before, it's better to use the structure of I can, you can, this animal can, than teaching can, cannot, the contraction is can, in question is can, plus subject, plus verb. No. All right, so a structure shouldn't be taught independently from the whole language context. If, for example, you are concentrating on the possessive S, you are teaching the possessive S to your students, you can start your class by showing the children how the structure works. You can take an object from a student's desk and say, for example, look, this is Miguel's pen, okay? This is Paula's envelope. This is Miguelito's bag. So these things are much better than explaining grammar or presenting structures in a way that are not significant for young learners. With children, then, it's much better to demonstrate the language than to explain it. All right. Okay. So language learners need to use structures. Everybody learning a language needs to use structures. Not only children, but teenagers and adults. We all need structures when we are learning a new language. This means that these structures have to be practiced in the classroom, both formally using the book, because in the book we have exercises to practice the structures, right? To practice, for example, the structure of the present simple, of the present continuous, of can, of must, should, etc. But also, these structures have to be practiced basically through classroom communication. So it is better, all right, or best to limit your course objectives to a few structures and to work again and again with these same structures using different vocabulary and putting them in different situations. So that's what I would advise you to do in your classes. As I said at the beginning, there's no necessity to include a lot of topics when teaching young learners, all right? A limited number of topics are enough to make the classroom a communicative place to be. And another thing I always highlight in the webinars I deliver is that if you want your classroom to be a communicative place, you have to teach English in what language? You have to teach English in?
English.
Only, all right? So there's no real need to use the student's first language. Some teachers assume that it's impossible to make the learners understand a new language without using their own language, but it's not true. If you want your classroom to be a communicative place, you have to teach English in English. You have to speak in English only 100% of the time. All right? You should distinguish clearly between the structures that you expect the children to be able to produce and those that you expect them only to understand. Because there are some structures that we want the children to understand only, not because they will have the necessity to use them. And the first years are to consolidate comprehension. Production will come naturally later. In previous webinars, we have said that the first two skills we need to pay attention to are, what are the first two skills we have to pay more attention to? What should we teach first? Reading and writing and then listening and speaking? Or first we have to do listening and speaking and then reading and writing? What should we do first?
First, listening and speaking.
Excellent.
Listen and
Have to be
speaking.
integrated. They have to be integrated.
Yes, that's true. That's true. They have to be integrated, but that's kind of a dream. That's kind of a dream. Because when we are talking or listening or reading or writing in real life, yes, we can integrate the skills. But in a classroom, when we have to organize or to plan 45 or 50 minutes, we have to put the focus on something concrete, on something specific. And there are 4 skills, but the first two, or the two skills we should be paying more attention to are listening and speaking, because reading and writing will come later, naturally. Later. What did you learn first? The majority of us here are Spanish speakers, right? Spanish is our native language.
Yes.
What did we learn first? To speak or to write? What did we learn first?
Speak, of course. Speak.
Right? To speak. So it's difficult to integrate speaking and writing when we are babies, because writing is really important. Speaking and listening are around us, and this will set a base for having a good comprehension level. Not only reading comprehension, but also listening comprehension. So the first years are for the teachers to consolidate comprehension. And there are some structures that the children will have to produce, but there are some others that they will have to understand only. I have said that grammar is too complex, too abstract for children. They don't really understand grammar. But when you tell them a story, maybe they don't understand all the words in your story, but they understand the message of your story. And in communication, understanding the message is a key point, a very important thing. So there are some things that you need to make sure your children understand. Don't worry about the children producing structures. Many teachers penalize students when they ask them, for example, how old are you? If a child answers 11, it is enough, it is correct, it's fantastic. But some teachers want the children to say, no, 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 no. Repeat, I am 11 years old. So there's no necessity, right, to produce the language at a specific quantity, but comprehension is more important the first years. Production will come naturally later. When we tell a story in the classroom, the text of the story may contain complex structures, but the children can follow the story, as I said, from the non-linguistic support, such as pictures, sound effects, gestures, because we cannot expect the children to produce these structures of a story for some time. There's no way. Are you following me, dear colleagues? May I continue?
Yes, that's right.
Yes, teacher.
All right, please, I want you to type in the chat box what you think, your comments, your impressions, so that I can also follow you and we can interact together. I want you to contribute from your experience with what you see in your everyday teaching. Or maybe you can tell me some of the challenges you face. If it is easy or hard to teach English in English only, if you are focusing your lessons on grammar, on meaning, I want you to please accompany me in the chat box, all right? Good. So our ultimate aim, our ultimate objective in the classroom is to teach our students effective communication. We started today by speaking. We were doing comprehension, we were doing listening, and we were doing speaking, right? We didn't do any writing. I did writing because I had a structure, and you were doing maybe reading. You were doing listening. Since our ultimate aim in the classroom is to teach our students effective communication, students should be able to understand and make themselves understood in a never-increasing number of situations. An efficient communicator is not a person who knows a lot of structures. I know people that knows a lot of grammar, but this doesn't mean that they are effective communicators, right? An effective communicator is a person who knows how to use the structures. Okay, quite often a limited number of structures to communicate. If you teach English in English only, little by little, your students will start to communicate with you and with other students in English only, but little by little. Because when you start to teach English in English only, the first days, the first weeks, the first months, sometimes the first years, children continue speaking to you in their native language, in Spanish. You speak to them in English and they answer in Spanish, all right? Is this good? Yes, this is good, because the first years they are consolidating comprehension. As long as they understand your messages and they respond to you, it doesn't matter in what language they respond to you, okay? This means you are consolidating comprehension, and co-production will come naturally later. Don't worry, you have to be patient, all right? Very good. Julie, yes, we have to praise our students. They feel great when we praise them. Even when they say hello to you, you have to praise them and you have to act naturally. If you want the language to be acquired naturally, you have to speak naturally. You cannot exaggerate when a child says please, may I go to the bathroom to you? Excellent, you are speaking in English. No, because you have to act naturally. What did you say, Miss? May I go to the bathroom? Sure, go. Yes, go. All right? Even if they speak to you in Spanish or in their native language, you can continue. You have to continue speaking to them in English. Miss, ¿la tarea es para mañana? Yes, sure, for tomorrow. But don't say in English, please. Say it to me in English. I told you this the other day. Say it to me in English. No, you cannot force communication. We cannot force production. Production will come naturally later after comprehension is consolidated, after you speak in English and only in English to your students in your classroom. Stephanie has found a way to engage students with the stories. Yes, she says she uses a song and then she makes it into a story. Great. Yes, and I am sure, Stephanie, that all your students understand the message of your story, because there is no necessity to learn grammar or to understand grammar to be able to understand meaning. And children, as I said before, don't care about grammar. They care about meaning. They care about the message. They don't care about the structures. Yes, there's no necessity to translate, Stephanie, I am sure. All right? So good. Okay, let's move on to the next slide, the next part of tonight's presentation. Can you see my pictures? Can you see my sentences? We are going to talk about our favorite things right now. All right? We have here, my favorite food is what? What do you think it is? What's my favorite food? Can you see that picture of my favorite food? Where is the picture of my favorite food?
Pizza.
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 My favorite food is pizza. And my favorite drink is?
Water.
Is water. Yes, water. Good. My favorite sport is?
Football.
Football, soccer, football.
Soccer, yes.
Soccer.
Football, yes.
Soccer.
Yes. And my favorite book is?
Hamlet.
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 My favorite game is, it's right there. My favorite game,
Minecraft.
Minecraft. Yes. And my favorite song is?
Happy by Pharrell.
Happy.
Yes, Happy.
Oh, well.
All right. My favorite place is? Our planet.
Earth.
Air. Yes, Earth. And my favorite movie is?
Up.
Up. All right. Good. Let's sing a song now. Let's sing a song. This is a cool song. We will sing together right now. Okay, to talk about our favorite things. What's your favorite food? What's your favorite drink? What's your favorite sport? What's your favorite food? My favorite food is pizza. My favorite drink is water. My favorite sport is soccer. Yeah, yeah. My favorite book is Hamlet. These are the things I love. I've got so many different things. Great, great. Okay, I want you all to sing with me now. Here comes the second part of the song. What's your favorite game? What's your favorite song? What's your favorite planet? And what's your favorite
Movie.
movie? What's your favorite game? What's your favorite song? What's your favorite planet? What's your favorite movie? My favorite game is Minecraft. My favorite song is Happy. My favorite planet is Earth. Yeah, yeah. My favorite movies are. These are the things I love. I've got so many favorites. All right, good, good, good. Now I want you to sing with me. Come on, let's do it again. Everybody, you can find the lyrics of this song here on YouTube, all right? You know, every time I deliver, I share my presentation in PDF format. I will be sharing with you this presentation tomorrow so that you can access everything we're doing. Now I want you to sing with me, all right? What's your favorite food? What's your favorite drink? Favorite sport? Favorite book? What's your favorite food? What's your favorite drink? What's your favorite sport? What's your favorite food? My favorite food is pizza. My favorite drink is water. My favorite sport is soccer. Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. My favorite book is college. You are the thing I know.
Great. What's your favorite game? What's your favorite song? What's your favorite planet? What's your favorite movie? My favorite my favorite song, my favorite planet is Earth. Yeah, yeah. My favorite movie is nothing. I've got so many favorites. Very good, so good. Thank you so very good. Now we will talk about food, my favorite food. All right? Yummy, yummy. Are you hungry right now? Have you had dinner yet? Or not yet? Have you had dinner yet? All right. Okay. Okay. What is a mostrito? It is a food, a food. Do you know what a mostrito is? Who knows what a mostrito is?
Yes.
It's not an
Chaufa with
attractive person.
roasted chicken.
Yes, it is a combination, right? Yes, it is a combination of chaufa, yes, and pollo a la brasa, Chinese rice, yes. It is a combination of chaufa and pollo a la brasa, right? Good. Here it is for the people from Ecuador and from Cali. This is a typical Peruvian dish. Some people like to eat it on Sundays, on weekends. We love eating pollo a la brasa. All right, so this is a mostrito, a combination of chaufa, it is Chinese rice, and pollo a la brasa. Good, and what is an aeropuerto, do you know? Who knows what an aeropuerto is? Have you ever tried?
A pretty big arroz chaufa.
Yes, it's another combination, right? It's arroz chaufa with
Spaghetti?
Yes, with Chinese noodles. Yes. Right?
Vegetables. With
Yes.
vegetables too.
And vegetables. And it's everything mix and mix and mix. All right. Do you like it? Have you ever tried this?
Right?
Yes, me too. Me too. All right.
Yes, yes,
Here
yes.
it is.
Wow.
Here it is in the photo. Yeah, it's provoking. All right. Do you like food combinations? What's your favorite food combination? Can you please tell me what your favorite food combination is?
Yes.
I
Papa la
don't know.
with
Sorry?
spaghetti. Papa la huancaína with spaghetti.
Ah, me too. I like it too. It's delicious. Yes, red spaghetti with papa la huancaína, right?
Yes, I
Even,
like.
even green spaghetti with papa la huancaína is delicious too. Yes, I
Yes.
like it.
Yes.
Uh-huh. All right. Who else can tell me? Rosana, you like taco, taco and lomo saltado. That's your favorite combination. Mmm, delicious. It's provoking. I'm getting hungry. All right. Thank you, Roxana. What other combinations do you like? Do you have a favorite food combination? Julie, cabrito, cabrito with beans or with ceviche? Meat. Johan, me neither. I haven't had dinner. All right, yeah, with beans, spaghetti with ceviche, yaki. All right, that's quite an interesting combination. Spaghetti with ceviche, tacacho with cecina. Carlos, good. Yeah, guinea pig and ceviche. Interesting combination. Champagnita with pasta. Yes. Yeah, that's a good one. And ceviche. So that's a trio, right? Spaghetti with olives. Anna, all right, thank you. All right, look at this. Now look at these three food combinations. These are very typical Peruvian combinations, right? These are very typical Peruvian combinations. To be honest, I like the three of them. I'm showing you these pictures because these three are really good for me. But one of them is my favorite. Which of the three do you think is Mr. Valenzuela's favorite food combination? The first, the second, or the third?
The second.
The second, the second.
The third?
Oh, it's not the second, it's not the second.
The third?
Yes, yes, that's my favorite food combination. That's my favorite. I like tallarines rojos con papa a la huancaína, yes. And I like tortitas de choclo con ceviche, right? But my favorite food combination is carapulcra con sopa seca. Do you know where this dish is from?
Ica is from Ica.
Ica.
From
From
Ica,
Ica.
yes. People in Chincha, in Pisco, in Cañete, in Ica make it, right? And it's really, really good. All right, yes, Peruvian food is very delicious, Roseville. Okay, so I like ceviche and tortita de choclo, but my favorite dish is carapulcra and sopa seca. Now I want you to open your microphones and tell me what your favorite dish or your favorite combination is, or you can also type it in the chat box. I want you to tell me what your favorite food combination or your favorite dish is. Please, I want everybody to tell me, what's your favorite food combination? What's your favorite? Yeah, it's called manchapecho. Yeah, Rocio, it is called manchapecho, yes, because it's so delicious that when you eat it, the food spills on your chest, and this is people call it manchapecho. All right, Stephanie, your favorite dish is causa limeña. I like it too. Yes, I like it too. Yeah, with tuna. I like it when it's filled with tuna. I prefer the causa limeña filled with tuna than chicken. Good. Who else can tell me what his or her favorite combination is? Adobo arequipeño. It's delicious too. Yes, it's delicious. I like it too. And rocoto relleno is very delicious too. Right? Okay, who else?
My favorite dish is sweet humitas, but from Pachamanca. because they get even sweeter and they
All
are
right.
really, really yummy.
Okay, good. Thank you, Anna. Thanks for telling us. Pachamanca, delicious. And I didn't know that the humitas taste sweeter when they are cooked with the pachamanca. Thanks for telling us. Didn't know that. All right. Okay. So here we have three dishes. What's the first one? The one in the first picture?
Pizza.
Pizza. Then the second is?
Number one is pizza. That's
Pizza.
delicious.
Number two? Pollo a la brasa, right?
Number two, pollo a la brasa.
Roasted chicken.
Ceviche.
Ceviche, very good.
Number three is ceviche. That's
All
delicious.
right. Yes, it is. All right. Let's continue with the presentation then. Okay, and let's talk about motivating young learners. Motivation is very important, right? An important element of successful teaching is knowing how to motivate your students. This is a complex issue since different people are motivated by different things. And motivation is not to be confused with competition. All right, dear colleagues? Competition is one of the strategies that you can use for motivation because young learners like competitions. They like having games when they compete, for example, boys versus girls, right? Or they are put into teams and they have to compete. So competition is one of the strategies that we use for motivation, but it is by no means the only, nor indeed the best strategy, no, right? Sadly, in many cases, the only motivation provided in the classroom is that of passing exams, all right? And it shouldn't be like this. The main motivation for language learning has to be the desire to communicate. And once again, your students will only feel the desire to communicate when you make the classroom a communicative place, when you contextualize the language, when you give the children an opportunity, a chance to talk about something that is relevant to their lives. For example, when you show them a photo of a Peruvian dish, they have a chance to talk, right? They start to say the same as you. I like tacu-tacu and lomo saltado. I like guinea pig and ceviche. I like chanfainita and pasta. I like pizza and burgers. I like papa la huancaína with spaghetti. So the main motivation for language learning has to be the desire, the necessity to communicate. And children want to communicate if they have something that they want to say to each other. So we have to determine what language the children will want to use and how they will enjoy using it. This means designing the content and the methodology of our teaching accordingly. All right, let's talk about the content then right now. For young learners, the central interest is themselves. In a way, you know, because you are teachers of children, they are very selfish. Children are very selfish. It's all the time me, 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 and the word spins around them. She did this to me. She spoke to me like this. She looked at me like this. It's always me, 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 me. Because for young learners, the central interest is themselves. And they love telling you, and they love telling their classmates, their peers about themselves. They also like talking about their possessions, their immediate surroundings. So if you make the classroom a communicative place and you contextualize the language, you won't only give them chances or opportunities to communicate, but you will promote this necessity, this desire of communicating. Children love it when the teacher listens to them. They like telling you what their moms do at the weekend, what their dads do at work, and everything. They tell you where their parents work, what they do for a living, and so on. So we, the teachers, can exploit this interest by personalizing many of the activities that we do in class. This is a fantastic chance for us to contextualize, to personalize the activities that we do in class. As children get older, their field of interest becomes wider and more varied. At the beginning of the school year, then, you should spend some time getting to know what your students are interested in. When you are preparing your lessons, you have to ask yourself, we the teachers should ask ourselves if our students will be interested in the activities that we are planning to do. And we need to see if we can alter, if we can adapt the activity in any way in order to motivate the students' interest. For example, football results and league tables are ideal for practicing numbers. And many children know a lot about football results, league tables, the champion leagues, etc. And pop stars posters are fun for using as illustrations for learning adjectives. We started today by speaking, right? When I said, what is it, I don't know. What is it, hey, let's go. What is it, please show me. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. What is it? Can you see it on my camera?
Yeah, it's a pig.
It's a pig, right?
Yeah, it's a pig.
So we need to find a way to make the children speak. Do you like pigs? What color are pigs? Can pigs fly? How many legs do they have? The first times, it is possible that they respond to you in Spanish, and that's fine, because we need to consolidate comprehension. That's our first goal. Production will come naturally later. Teaching a language is different from teaching other subjects insofar as our aim is communication. I always say that we don't teach a subject, right? We don't teach maths, we don't teach science, we teach a language. And the aim of language, the ultimate aim is communication. So we cannot promote communication among children if they are all sitting quietly, doing individual work all the time. If you only present vocabulary with flashcards and you say, okay, listen and repeat, pig, repeat, cow, repeat that. Okay, now open your student's book and match the activity exercise 4. No. We cannot promote communication among students if they are all sitting down, learning the language passively, only listening to you. But they have, in a way, you have to find a way to make them interact with you. You will also need to motivate children individually, right? Encouragement is by far the best tool for promoting and retaining a child's interest, not only in English, but in anything in life. And you can encourage your students by making sure that your expectations are always within the individual child's abilities. Because, as Julie said, we need to praise our students because they like to be praised. And children are encouraged when they succeed, but not when they fail. All right? Failure and fear of failure sets up a harmful, vicious circle, which often lasts for the student's entire schooling. The student fails once and perceives himself or herself as a bad learner. So we need to be there all the time to make them feel confident about learning the language. This demotivates the student and makes the student less likely to try because the student believes that failure is inevitable. Yes, Janet, as a teacher, we can adopt real situation into our class. For instance, last news, yes, the latest news, sport, music. They need to encourage, the need to encourage success is sometimes known as the feel-good factor. And this has come under some criticism recently as a possible cause of lowering standards in schools. However, it doesn't mean that we should praise bad work. As I told you before, we have to act naturally. We cannot exaggerate, and it's not about praising for very simple things, okay? It doesn't mean that we should praise bad work, but we should avoid it by careful planning of each class to ensure positive motivation. So plan activities that are easy for the children to follow so that they don't tell you, Miss, I can't, Miss, I don't understand, teacher, it's too difficult, teacher, it's impossible. You need to plan carefully, making sure that the activities are at the children's level and at the children's capacity. All right, now we are going to talk about using projects in class, using projects with young learners. Do you use projects in your teaching? Can you please tell me in the chat box if you include projects when teaching young learners, when teaching children? Does anybody here include projects in teaching young learners? Or you don't use projects in your teaching? Do you use projects? Do you include projects?
The last year I didn't use it, but this year, yes, I will use it.
All right, great. Thanks for sharing. Okay, Janet, Carla, okay, Rosaura, Rosana, good. Thank you. Thank you, Carlos. We are going to talk about the importance of using projects. Okay, Ceci, not really. Okay, we are going to talk about this right now, Cecilia. So pay attention because projects can motivate young learners because they encourage participation. They promote learner independence and involve different skills such as psychomotor skills, writing skills, social skills, critical thinking skills. Also, projects allow learners to be creative. And at the same time, projects provide teachers with opportunities to consolidate vocabulary or to consolidate language areas such as listening, writing, reading, speaking. A project may last half an hour. Sometimes a project may last a full lesson. Or sometimes a project may last a series of lessons. You don't finish a project in one class sometimes. So if the project is over a series of lessons, you will need to think about how to organize the workload. This means, okay, today we will do this part of the project. I have classes again with this group in 2 days. Okay, we will do this the second day. We will do this the third day, and we will finish by doing this. You will need to think about how to organize the workload and how to divide up your learners. It's better to group students, weak ones with strong ones. And I would recommend you to make groups of 2 or 3 students, no more. Because when you make groups of 5 or 6 students, you have only 1 or 2 students doing all the work, and the rest does nothing. So
Yes.
projects, as you can see here, can become disorganized and problematic if you don't have a clear plan of what the learners are going to create. Projects can become disorganized and problematic if you don't have a clear plan of how long students will have to do the project or the tasks in the project, or how they will work. For example, if it is a group project, what responsibilities which will each member have, right? As Carlos is saying, Carlos Zoila is saying, right? For example, what responsibilities will each member of the group have? Zoila is saying that you should use resources and assign a leader, a child that will be the leader maybe of the group. They love it when you do this, playing, singing, talking, etc. It is also important to think about ways to maintain learner interest in the project. Yes, it is important to have a clear guideline, Janet, such as rules, right? The time they have for the project, the topic of the project, the number of members in the group, the resources that are allowed to be used, who will be the leader or leaders. So if the project is too long or too complicated, students are going to become demotivated. So once again, you have to plan activities that are at your students' capacity, that are easy to be done by your students. Otherwise, they are going to feel like, Miss, I can't. Miss, I don't know. Miss, I don't understand. And they will become demotivated. Strategies such as asking groups to compare their work, giving a lot of praise, excellent, congratulations, well done, continue, you can do it, and maintaining a clear action plan for each part of the project can help to maintain interest. Yeah, Rocio, it's interesting to work projects in groups, integrating other subjects such as science, math, into our English classes, in our English lessons. Yes, that's interesting and very fruitful and very valuable. So project topics should be within the learner's experience levels. So a good way to ascertain what might be suitable is to find out exactly what they are studying at the school and try out a project in one of these areas. For older learners, you might choose from areas of their personal interests, such as sports, music groups, fashion, or computer games. And another consideration relates to your learner's ability to write in English. For younger learners, projects are limited to the very simple and largely involve the production of pictures and things such as finger puppets rather than written text. For example, they can draw their bedroom. On a piece of paper, they can draw their house, for example. All right? They can draw their house, the parts of the house, and they can tell you where the living room is, where the dining room is, where the bedrooms are. They can draw and they can speak. This can be an interesting project. They can use paper, color paper, they can use carton board, they can use recycled materials, they can use pictures from magazines for creating their projects. But remember that for very young learners, projects are limited to the very simple, and they involve the production of pictures and things such as finger puppets rather than written text. Remember, reading and writing are in the second place. Listening and speaking should be first, the first two skills we need to develop, all right? Production will come naturally later after you consolidate comprehension. Yes, drawing is interesting, yes, for first and second graders, yes, Roseville, because they don't even know how to write in their mother tongue, in their native language. Children at the ages of 6 and 7 don't even know how to write or read in Spanish, so there's no necessity to make them write at any quantity in English, all right? Okay, good. Let's summarize then. You are going to read the statements and say if they are true or false about teaching young learners. All right, we are about to finish. Here is the first statement: putting language into a context is important because it creates a natural environment. Yes or no? Thank you, Carola. It's true. Yes, it's true. Do you remember how I contextualized the lesson about my favorite things and my favorite food? By talking about Peruvian food combinations? A mostrito, an aeropuerto, and then you started to say spaghetti and huancaína, chanfainita and pasta, pizza and burger, etc. So putting language into a context is important because it creates a natural environment. And learners need to find opportunities to connect language with their lives. Contextualizing provides children with these opportunities to talk about familiar topics and to communicate spontaneously. Children enjoy things that are relevant to their lives. Great. Number 2, a communicative focus makes language more difficult. When you create a communicative classroom, this makes language more difficult. True
False.
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 That's
It's
very false.
Very false. A communicative focus. Yes, it's false. Why? Because a communicative focus can make language feel more real. And this encourages students to communicate naturally. It's also positive because learners become active in their learning. They are not passive learners anymore, like many people from our generation. In our times, we were passive learners. Teachers were explaining grammar, presenting grammar, and we were listening, taking notes. Language learning shouldn't be a passive activity. It's not recommendable to make changes during a lesson, since this can affect our lesson plan. Is this true or false?
False.
False. Excellent.
False.
It's very false. It's very false. Because in a lesson, we should teach the students, not the lesson plan. What's more important, your students or your lesson plan?
Students.
Students, for sure.
Students,
So
of
we
course.
must be prepared, if necessary, to change our plan while we are teaching. Now, if we have a clear plan, we will be more aware of what we are changing and why we are changing it. It's important to explain grammar to children so that they understand the language and learn it accurately.
False.
False.
It is
False.
false. False, false. Teaching grammar in kinder or in primary is a waste of time. So when you want to waste time in the classroom, you can start to teach grammar. All right? Teaching grammar to children is a waste of time because grammar, once again, is too abstract, too complex for children. They don't care about grammar, they care about meaning. They want to understand a message, not every single word in a conversation or in a story. All right? Grammar is too abstract for children, so a grammar focus can be a waste of time, and young learners don't pay attention to how language is used. They pay attention to what language means. In conclusion, children don't care about grammar, they care about meaning. Okay, games play a very important role when teaching young learners.
True.
Yes, that's
Yes.
right.
Yes, right? True. And as we saw tonight, competitions are good, but competition is not a synonym for motivation. A competition is only a strategy to motivate the students because young learners like competing with each other. Boys versus girls, or sometimes boys versus boys, but this is only a strategy. So games play a very important role, and everybody likes games, not only children, also teenagers and adults. Games are a great way to present as well as revise and consolidate vocabulary, pronunciation and language structures that the students need for real communication. Children learn a lot while they play. Okay, if you want to learn more about teaching English to young learners, I want to invite you to enroll in my Prepare for TKT YL program, and you continue empowering your teaching. All right? Also, if you want to update and refine your teaching skills for delivering successful online classes this year, I want to invite you to enroll in my 2021 Professional Development Training for Successful Online Teaching program, and you empower your teaching. You can contact me for further information. All right, that's all for tonight. Thank you very much for attending tonight's webinar. Before we say goodbye, I want you to tell me in the chat box one thing you learned tonight. We've been sharing teaching experiences together. All right, I want you to tell me in the chat box what you think of tonight's webinar, what you learned. I want you to give me a comment, to leave me a comment in the chat box. All right, my pleasure, Delcy, my pleasure, Carlos. Tell me in the chat box, what have you learned tonight for your teaching? You're welcome, Cecilia. You're welcome, Jenny. What have you learned tonight? If you had to summarize tonight's webinar in a few words, what would you say in the chat box? Motivation, all right, the students communicate. Excellent, Rosa. Excellent, Rosa, thank you. Very good. Strategies, motivation. Great, Cecilia, thank you. Motivation, strategies, Jenny, good. Games and motivation help a lot while teaching. Yes, good, Stephanie. Carlos, strategies and motivation, good. All right. Good, motivation and strategies. You don't need to teach grammar. You teach grammar in context. Sylvia, excellent. Methodology, learning, teaching. Janet, excellent. Okay, Sylvia, strategy to keep motivate the students, good. No grammar, yes, Valerio, no grammar. Angelica, motivation. Delmer, motivation. Jacqueline, it's important, motivation. Excellent. Thank you very much. Now I want you, please, I want you all to to turn on your camera so that we can take a photo together. All right. I want you to turn on your cameras. Please, your camera so that we can take a photo together. Katia, Elizabeth, Delcy, Rosa, Lady, your cameras. Pedro, Johan, Patty, good. Okay, thank you. Thanks for accompanying me tonight. Thanks for being here with me tonight.
Thank you, mister. Bye. Take care.
All right,
Thank
let's
you.
wait for the photo.
Thank you, teacher. Thank you, teacher.
Blessings. Thank you very
Take
much.
care.
Blessings, blessings, hugs and kisses for everyone.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Valenzuela.
Thank you.
It was a great.
Thank you very much.